Hi, and welcome to Good Deeds Real Estate with a Mission. I'm Diane Davidson from the Fine Homes Group at Keller Williams. Back from vacation, here with Bill Weidecker, also back from vacation.
It's so ironic that you and I are back from vacation.
From vacation.
At the same time.
It's amazing.
Means we took a vacation at the same time.
Doesn't always, but in this case it does, right? Okay. Anyway, it's interesting because when we were away with friends, long-term friends, I don't like to say old friends, long-term friends, they actually live in the D.C. area now, and they listen to the podcast or watch the podcast, and mentioned that they felt like it was very obvious that we care about taking care of our clients. And I just wanted to say that because it meant a lot to us, and I'm thrilled that that's coming across. So anyway, thank you, Claire and Frank. So today, before we talk about the fall market, I just want to touch on a great resource for consumers. It is the National Association of Realtors, who is at the really in the forefront of explaining the rule changes that have come down the pike that were in effect across the country as of August 17th, some states earlier. Has a great website for consumers. It's called fact.realtor. So FACTS.realtor. And, one of the pieces that they just came out with, which is the consumer-facing guide, is why am I being asked to sign a written buyer agreement? So there are great questions here, all of the answers you need to know, and obviously you can reach out to us at any time if you'd like further explanation. But it's really, they do a great job of explaining things so that there's comfort in knowing that a lot of these settlement the conditions or the changes as a result of the settlement are very, very protective of consumers, and we're thrilled that honestly that they're that the transparency and clarity exists universally now, because it didn't always, I suppose, and I'm proud to say that we've been practicing this way for quite a while.
When you go to facts.realtor, if you go to the latest resources, which is really, as you scroll down, it's the top of the page, pretty evidently. Here's the cool thing about it. There's an infographic there, and I wish infographics existed back when I was a kid, because it's an easier way to learn, and it's much more consumer friendly in explaining some of the settlement rules. And if you do nothing else, I would encourage you to go there, because that infographic just makes it easy to understand.
Yep.
And of course, we're here to help guide you through it as well.
Yes, we are. Okay, so fall market. It seems as if it's upon us. Yes.
Well, I woke up this morning to take the dog out at a little after 5, and it was 46 degrees, and just doesn't seem like the very first or second day after Labor Day but here we are. Yeah. And we know that this brings about a fall market. And the good news is, while it's been largely a seller's market for the last 5 years, been a seller's market for longer, but really hot, is that we anticipate a pretty hot fall market because of the fact that the Fed is basically telegraphed that they're going to lower rates, which will have an effect on the mortgage rates, I should say. I think that we've already kind of got the new rates baked into the market already for mortgages. But we'll see how much the Fed eases rates, whether it's 25 basis points, which is 0.25% in rate, or 50, which is 0.5%. On top of that, I have noticed that while inventory is still very low, where we've got just about 2,000 single-family homes on the market in the state, 2.5 months worth of supply, really not enough, that price adjustments are up, Diane.
Yeah.
For the first time since 2019, I've seen price adjustments where the last 30 days, 452 price adjustments in Hillsborough, Rockingham, and Merrimack County. Again, that's the most in 5 years in a 30-day window of time. I think the single biggest mistake a seller can make in a market like this is pricing the property too high and pricing it incorrectly, causing it to stay on the market and I can elaborate further.
Please do.
Well, I just didn't. I wanted you to. It sounded like you wanted to say something. Well, no. While we were away on vacation, I got to travel to Chicago to the National Association of Realtor meetings, and while sitting in an airport, I heard two people talking about a property that they were maybe interested in Chicago, and one person said it's been on the market for 92 days, and the other person said definitely something wrong with it. And the first individual said, well, maybe it's just the price. No, it's not just the price. If it's been on that long, something's wrong. And I thought, that's what people think.
Yep.
And it could just be the price. It's the biggest mistake I think a seller can make in this market is pricing the property incorrectly. Too high.
Yep. Don't disagree.
Well,
I'm not sure what I should add.
Well,
But I will add something. So when we price strategically. When we work with our seller clients, the opening price, if you will, the first public offering, is not a commentary on the value of their home. It is rather a number that when that's packaged with, we position the property, so everything aesthetic about the offering to the public, we're creating a buyer experience, and one of the most important elements of that buyer experience is what the public offering price is. It is really a strategy. It's not a value. It's not the end game. It's not it is what we think will drive the best results for the seller, right? And so when you miss that, you are missing the opportunity to achieve the best combination of price and terms for the seller. And as things sit on the market, and even with price adjustments are news for a very short time. But whatever everyone's favorite website is or everyone's favorite app is to look for real estate, when a price is reduced, most of them show that information, but that information sunsets. So if it happens in the previous 3 or 4 days, maybe a week, you know about it. Otherwise, all people see is the current price and the days on market, and they don't know what the history is. And so they, just like your friends in the Chicago airport, make all sorts of assumptions that do not bode well for the sellers.
Yeah, I really do believe that pricing with a strategy beats just going, which way's the wind blowing. I think we can get 50,000 more than anybody else has. And some of that happens with the willing participation of the real estate community that lists that, whoever the agent is that lists the house. But we've at times pushed the mark, but we have to realize that when that's the case, you have to recognize very, very quickly. Like in a market like this, it isn't 30 days. It isn't 60 days. It's like, have you gone a week? And if you've gone putting a property on the market and you go the first 4 days and no showings, big warning. Because we don't come to market with limited information. We come to market with all of the marketing, all of the best photographs. Everything goes up when it's all ready. We don't put it on in dribs and drabs. And so if you get no activity early on, there's a problem.
Yep. And some properties, when you're looking at sort of the pinnacle properties, the prices that the properties that are way up in value, that might be a different story. So it takes a little longer, and their days on market are more typically longer. So there are certainly some exceptions. When we look at most of the properties that most people are selling, then there really is a formula. In the olden days, they used to say if a property was on the market for 10 days with no showings, or 10 showings and no offers, it was time to take a look. We think double digits are the seller's enemy, right? Mm-hmm. So waiting 10 days, talking about it, maybe it's something happens after 12. Now you've got buyers looking and saying, wow, it's been on the market almost 2 weeks. Anyway, so we know now to evaluate very quickly. We can also go to various websites and see how many people looked at it, how many people have saved it. Typically, when someone's saving it, occasionally it's someone saving it to show the picture of the granite to the granite guy because they're going to do the kitchen. But usually they're saving it to watch it because they perhaps have fallen in love with it. They've fallen in love with the product, but not with the value, right? And so they're watching, they're price watching it. Mm-hmm. So we can look at those things too. We also, and we're discussing this now because we're in this fall market where things, I've always said, well, no, not always, 45 years, who said that In the spring market, buyers are out ahead of sellers. Come January 15th, and the holiday decorations come down, and they're ready to go, and they're ready to go and look at properties. Sellers are thinking, maybe I'll wait to spring. It's not nice. So this is our last holiday season. And so it's a different. Buyers are ready and eager, and sellers. So by the time more stuff comes on the market, there's a buying frenzy in the spring. In the fall, it's a little bit different. In the fall, sellers are Tuesday after Labor Day, Wednesday after Labor Day. Let's get prices on the market. Buyers are thinking they can grab one more weekend. The kids are going back to play sports, whatever it is. And so the sellers are ahead of the buyers. And as a result, especially when there's some leftover inventory from the summer, as a result, it takes a little bit longer. People sort of start getting a little nervous, if you will. Buyers start becoming a little more empowered. We've seen it year after year. Even the years where prices didn't go down, became a more buyer-friendly market. All of a sudden, inspections were back. I think it was last fall and the fall before, right? Anyway, so not that they ever went away for our clients. So the point is that, we're wanting to make sure that we're prepared and our sellers are prepared to deal with their property maybe not selling right away, and for us to provide the right information. To that end, we'll do things like if a house has been on the market, let's say for 5 days, or 4 days, we'll go back and look and see what has happened in those days with the competing properties. And that's not just in the same neighborhood, and that's not just the same property type, not even sometimes in the same town. We know what buyers are looking for. We know with our listings what might be competing in a buyer's mind, what else they might be seeing. So we'll go back and look and see if any of the competition has gone under contract, if more things have come onto the market, like what exactly has happened since the day our seller's property hit the market, so that we can really give them accurate, relevant counsel as to what the next step should be. But waiting that 10 days, that magic 10 days, is passé. It's not operating in our client's best interest in the market of the moment. That it's already at 10 days, it's already stale.
Got it.
Is that a long sentence?
Well, it was several.
A lot.
Yeah, it was a lot, but no lack of value. I think the important takeaway in all of this is that brilliant counsel from your real estate professional, hopefully us, it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
And I think in a market like this where we are still, seller's market for sure, but feels like changing a bit. Now's the time. And we always look at when's a good time? Well, when's the right time? It's when it's right for you. So we're anxious to help, whether you're looking to buy or sell, or both.
Absolutely, it's important to know too what the reasons are, and we're very good at asking questions. It's really important for us to understand why somebody's moving, so that we can really put their needs out in front and make sure that we're giving them the right advice, because it's no one's going nowhere.
That's true.
Right? Anyway, okay, that's enough for today. Thanks for listening or watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next week, Bill, good deeds, real estate with a mission.
Bye, everybody.